Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here because I get to share an appreciation with you today. And I speak from love because I loved my time here at Henrico High School. And I know I don't speak for everyone's experience when I say that. But for me, Henrico High School and in Henrico Public Education, things didn't always make sense to me. And my dreams didn't all come true. And what a great place for that to happen. In a supportive community like this, where I could learn that lesson, that when things don't make sense, and when our dreams don't come true, that's not the end of the process. That can be the beginning of a new path, a new way. Because my dream, what did I dream when I dreamed about Henrico High School? I'm really one of the lucky ones. My dream was this. Henrico High School, to me, was light and sound. Because when I was 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, I lived about 3/4 of a mile from Henrico. And chances are, in early autumn, in the evening, my brother and I and our friends would be outside playing as darkness fell and a light rose to the southeast, white and yellow, filled with sound, notes, cheering, Friday night, a football game. And this pulsing luminescence became my imagination. And I started to allow myself to dream a little. What is it going to be like when I'm grown up and I get to go to Henrico High School, play sports, music, think, if time permits. Well, by the time I got to Henrico, that dream was already changing. Something in my life didn't make sense. My muscles were getting weaker while my friends were getting stronger. I saw what they were doing to get stronger. They began lifting weights, so I decided I'll start lifting too. A clarinet. Start small. But by the time I arrived at Henrico High School, not only were sports out of the question, but now even playing the clarinet had become difficult. My mouth muscles were getting weak. I was blowing air around the clarinet, not down the clarinet. I couldn't form a seal. My friends would playfully call me Leake the Squeak. I tried to fix the problem myself. I put some tape on my mouth. There was a brief experiment with glue. Clearly, I could not solve this problem myself. And I did the thing I had been avoiding to do. I told my teacher what my problem was. I couldn't believe how much he cared. And he did not let me go that day until he could repeat my problem back to me exactly and maybe a little better than I had told him. That was the turning point for me. When I saw someone outside my family care for me as much as my family, I found the trust to take my problem to a doctor. And 2 weeks later, an early dismissal began and ended right out front of Henrico High School at the Warrior Head. And while I was away, I found out something that didn't make sense. Yes, my muscles were getting weaker and that they would continue to get weaker. Even the name of the disease didn't make sense to me. Facioscapulohumeral muscular dystrophy. I thought for a disease that affects the mouth muscles, they sure make it tough to pronounce. By the time I got back to Henrico, band class had already started. I just put together my clarinet and got down to some squeaking. We were playing Schoenberg, modern music. So nobody could tell I was squeaking. At the end of class, I'm putting away my clarinet when the band director pulls up to me and he says, "Brett, not so fast. I've got something for you." Had a box, instrument case. He threw it open. He said it was a bassoon. Looked like 4 pieces of wood. I thought, I can't play a clarinet and we're going to build a fire. Is this some kind of ritual? Does the county know about this? You put it together, it's 4.5 feet long. Now it looked like a bazooka. Oh, I see. Now we can shoot the rotten tomatoes back at the audience. It's a double reed instrument. Won't I squeak twice as much? He wouldn't hear anything about it. He said, I want you to hold it like this and I want you to blow it like this. How did he know to even try the bassoon? He didn't know 2 weeks earlier when I told him what my problem was. At the end of that day, before he went home, he threw open the doors to the band closet and he pulled out the instrument that he thought would work. He took it home and he played it with my problem in mind. It did not work. It was a fail. The next day, at the end of school, he did it again. Another fail. 2 weeks later, there's nothing left in that band closet but the instrument that makes the least amount of sense, a bassoon. And now he's handing me this 4.5 foot long burping bedpost. Earlier that day, I asked the doctor, is there anything I can do about this? And when he said no, my throat got tight and my eyes filled with water. Later that same day, back at school, here at Henrico, a teacher tried again. He came up with a little trick. He taught it to me. It worked, and I got to stay in band another 2 years. Now, was I a good bassoonist? I was the only bassoonist. And I played second bassoon. On the same day I found out that life can get more difficult, I found out what makes it easier. People stopping to understand and then stopping to help. The dreams we imagine in life do not compare to the ones that we can cobble together from the rough stuff of daily life.
You know, I gave a speech at William & Mary a few days ago, and when I got into town, one of the people behind the event came up to me and said, I'd just like to let you know that you will be following the Dalai Lama. No pressure, but you'll be following the Dalai Lama. Now, I thought that was a tough act to follow. I got to tell you, Leake blew the Dalai away.